1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're at in the world. I am Bruce Leonard, of course, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today, I believe. I'd like to talk about what's happening right now in Iran. I've seen somebody say, why are leftists quiet about this? You know, what's going on in Iran? And not that I don't care about what's going on in Iran, because I do. But I have a question for you. I thought you all were the America First people. I thought all you cared about was America. You were isolationists. You didn't care about all these world problems. Now all of a sudden, you care about Venezuela, you care about Iran, you care about all this other shit. So who exactly are the globalists? Like, was this just another Gaslight 2, where you pretend that you're something else, and then you're really just projecting what it is that you really are, but pretending that that's not what you are, like what you do with Nazis and shit? I'm just curious, because a lot of mega people seem to care now what's going on in Iran. Because it just proves to you that it's a cult. They don't have any real principles of their own or real thoughts. They follow whatever Donald Trump tells them to say, and whatever he is on, they're on too, because they're pathetic, groveling nutlickers who just, like I said, they're in a cult. Of course, they'll say they're not in a cult, just like they'll say they're not Nazis, while they put Nazi slogans actually on their podiums. I don't know if you saw that. Christy Nome put on the front of her podium, "One of us, all of yours," or something like that. And that's a direct Nazi quote for when Heydrich was assassinated in Czechoslovakia, I believe. They wiped out a whole village for revenge, and that's what they said. One of us, all of you. You know, if you kill one of us, we'll kill all of you, as many as we can. You know, that's what she put on the ICE podium. And then they tell you that they're not Nazis. Like, I don't know if you've seen this, but they're going door to door now in Minnesota. No warrants. Going into people's houses. Now, let me tell you something right now. If you are for jackboot masked thugs going around kicking in doors with no warrants, you've forgotten what it is to be an American. You're just another fascist bootlicker. What's up, Robin Cheeseman? Thanks for hanging in. Hello, Julia, Laura. Because it's like I said before. You give away your rights for this reason. Your rights are given away. They're yours. They're your rights. It's against the Constitution to come to your house without a warrant and come inside your house. And if you're giving up that right, you're giving up everything. And if you don't understand that, you're just fucking stupid. Because you think it's going to stop with them. Once you give them the right to just start kicking in doors, they're just going to start kicking in doors of anyone they don't like. They've already drug off many U.S. citizens. They went into Target. I don't know if you saw the story. They went into Target. They arrested 2 employees, one of whom was a citizen. And he was yelling, "I'm a citizen," and they took him out. They beat him up. And then they figured out he was a citizen, so they kicked him out of the car at a Walmart parking lot, like a mile down the road, 2 miles down the road. This is a U.S. citizen. No one's safe. You think that you're safe because you're a citizen? You're not. Now, the white people, a little more safe because there's their racial profiling. But that's not going to... be forever. They can take it. You when you give them this power, they will turn it on you. That's what people don't seem to understand. Is eventually it's going to be you or whoever they don't like. It's like we were talking about the other day when they can dehumanize people. Yes, exactly. A judicial warrant signed by a judge. Yes. Not the administrative warrants that agents keep stacks of in their vehicles. Yes. But then just go to Kinko's and run off 50 copies. And then use it on anybody's house they want. The people, this is the ironic part. The people that are for all this are the people that have the "Don't Tread on Me" flags. The people who said that wearing a mask was a tyranny. The people who cried during COVID that this was tyranny are now cheering actual tyranny that's going on. They don't know anything. These are the dumbest people in the history of the world, and they're brainwashed by the internet. People like Nick Shirley, who doesn't even know the meaning of the word benevolent. Did you see that? Nick Shirley, the kid who started all this shit in Minnesota, really, with that bullshit story where he dredged up a 3 or 4 year old story about fraud, which there was fraud. Those people were prosecuted. And there's court cases going on now. So people are arrested and prosecuted already for this fraud. But he comes on the internet like he's exposing something brand new. And he gets everyone ginned up. People are like, this guy should get a Pulitzer Prize for journalism. And then he goes on this podcast with softball, right-wing influencer podcast. And the guy just asked him a simple question. Who do you think are the most benevolent billionaires in the world today? And he goes, what do you mean by the word benevolent? Meaning, he's a fucking idiot. It's like, of course. Where does he come? Of course you're going to ask me if I'm a Jew. Why is that always the first question you fucks ask when you come on this show? Does it matter? For your racist comfort. No, I'm not a Jew. But why does that matter to you? Why is that the first thing you ask? People turn this show and they never see it. These racist fucking trolls, and they go, "Hey, is that a Jew?" You think if I was a Jew, I'd have nicer equipment and nicer set. Yes. Are you paying for it? You're watching. It's totally free, bro. Speaking of that, I'm going to get back to what I was talking about Iran. All these America First people, right, who claim to be America First. Now, all of a sudden, they care about Venezuela, they care about Iran, they care about whatever Donald Trump tells them to care about. Because they don't think for themselves, because they're brainwashed, nut-licking sheep, right, who just follow along. They're not smart enough to consider the implications of all the things that they're allowing to happen that will affect them later down the road. But anyway, the people of Iran are fighting to be free. 1 second. Let me finish my thought here and then I'll answer your question. The people of Iran are fighting to be free from the Islamic Republic. Now, if you don't know the story of Iran, Iran was pretty democratic and pretty modern for the 1950s, 60s. They're actually pretty modern for the Arab world, and we didn't like their government, so the CIA decided they were going to topple the government of Iran and place a nutlicker in charge, and then, so that's what they did. They installed a guy named the Shah of Iran. That's what they called him. I don't know what that was. I don't know enough about it. It was like if that was some title they just made up, or if he was actually hereditarily like some kind of Iranian royalty, and they just pulled him out of a closet somewhere. We're like, here's a guy with It's 1/32 royal blood. And he works for ExxonMobil. So he's now the Shah of Iran. Anyway, so, of course, the people of Iran didn't like the CIA toppling their government and installing an American puppet in charge, which empowered the Ayatollah Khomeini, who actually was in exile in France at the time, right? And so the people got so ginned up that the Ayatollah was like, now is the time. I'll go back and I will start an Islamic revolution and I will topple the government. And that's what he did, which established the Islamic Republic of Iran, which of course is a horrible fucking, strongman dictatorship. That's what I'm saying. Religious, oppression all over the place, and they immediately took away all the women's rights, and drugged the country back to the Stone Age, even though it was pretty modern at the time. Well, that wasn't so long ago. That there are people who are alive that remember when Iran was modern and semi-free, and so that spirit in the Iranian people has never gone away. And so they just found themselves from one nightmare to another. But who caused that nightmare? It was us, meddling in their fucking affairs. Like we do all the fucking time. Anyway, so now these people are having a revolution, which is great. But now 2,000 have been killed and thousands more have been arrested and thrown in prison, which is what happens at a revolution. I mean, people are going to die if you're really going to overthrow a government. But they turned off the internet so they couldn't get any news, right? And Trump's over here like, I'm all for these people. Yeah, I'm all for them. Well, you know what? They could get some news. They could have got some. You know where they could have got it from? Voice of America Radio. But you know what happened? Trump turned that off. Last year, because it's woke or whatever, then when they cut all these programs, that was Voice of America was one of them, but Voice of America was a network that was broadcasting radio to places like that, like Iran and the world, that weren't free. They can't cut off the radio signals like they can the internet. But if your president's a fucking moron, he turned off the very vehicle that he could use to help the people to get information when the government turned the internet off. But this is the kind of dumb shit you're dealing with. Anyway, this guy was saying the other day to me that he sent me this thing. He's like, why is the left silent on this? And it's like, look, it's not like that I don't have a position on it. It's not like I'm for the Iranian people. See, this is how they argue. They're stupid. They'll be like, okay, well, since you're not saying nothing about Iran, because you know why I'm not saying nothing about Iran? Because our country's fucked up right now. I just got to save us first. I can't be worried about what's going on with him. I mean, I can, but it's like, to me, they're in the same place as we're at. Or they want us to be. See, that's the ironic thing. Trump's acting like he wants Iran to become free while he's suppressing people here. It's another form of gaslight. Where he pretends, oh, the Americans are a beacon of freedom. We gotta support these people and they're trying to get free. And meanwhile, he's sending people to Minnesota right now. More and more of them. He's saying, oh, look out. Retribution is coming, he says. He's the most disingenuous fucking piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen an entire movement that's just completely built on complete bullshit at all times. Yeah. Thank you, Dante. Be safe. I need to divert myself for 1 second because the new viewer here asked me a question. He said, what was something that really changed your life? And for the better. And I gotta say, there was a lot of things. It's hard to say one thing, because if you lived as long as I have, there's lots of changeling moments where you have deep realizations and you change things. Um, and sometimes the things that happen to change your life aren't good at the time. They feel bad. Here, I'll give you an example. I was strung out on cocaine. I was living in Florida. I was playing in a band. I was working in a rock place. My whole life was a party, and I was way out of control. But I didn't realize I was out of control because I was living down there by myself. I didn't have no parents or any kind of structure, to tell me like when I was fucking up. I just was off the rails. And my mom came down to visit. And my mom, my family's partiers and hippies, so she's no stranger to drugs and drug use. And she saw right away how bad I was. And she was like, "You're fucking strung out. I can't watch this. I'm going home." And she left early. And that made me contemplate like where I was in my life. It put me in check, It made me look in the mirror and realize, wow, you really are out of control. Like, you need to do something, change your life. And I did. For the best. So hopefully that answers your question, and then you're still watching, because I want you to know that this is a show where yes, I do care that you're watching, and if you have something to say it, and I will respond. But like I said, go back to my original point. All these people that care about Iran now, they claim that they were the people that had no more foreign wars signs, right? America first. And now they're like, yeah, Trump taking over Venezuela. It's like, now Iran is next. Trump literally posted a picture of himself that said acting president of Venezuela underneath it. The guy's insane. The world is off the rail. In the meantime, back at home, if you're not watching, 6 top members of the Justice Department in Minnesota resigned because the Justice Department's civil rights arm that is supposed to investigate things like the police shooting that happened in Minnesota where Renee Good was shot in the face, decided that they didn't need to investigate the policeman. They were going to investigate her and her wife. And the police, it's just declared with no investigation and within 10 minutes that this is a legally justified shooting in all ways. Of course, all hell broke loose. It was fucking protests out the ass. There's protests here. I didn't know what was going on, or I would have went down there. I need to get more in touch with my local stuff so that I can find out what's happening, because I should have been down there. I'm sorry that I didn't go down and make a film for you, because that's what I should have done. That's what Nick Shirley would have done. God damn it. I'm half-assing this shit, apparently. So the Justice Department in Minnesota is now cleaned out of all its senior experienced prosecutors. And soon there won't be any prosecutors left in the Justice Department except for pathetic nut-lickers that do whatever Trump says. And Trump had them all together the other day, was lambasting them because they weren't prosecuting his political enemies fast enough. Think about that for a second. The police, or ICE, or whoever, shoots you in the face. And instead of having an investigation to find out what happened, and were you killed justifiably or not, they just declare it justifiable, and then go, well, let's look into his life. See what he was doing before he got shot in the face, And people are fine with this. This isn't even an immigrant. This is an American citizen. A woman who was born here. White. Young white woman. And you can clearly hear one of the police tell her to move her car. The other one says, get out of the car. The other one says, move the car. It's like they're giving conflicting orders. And I'm sure she was just confused and, freaked out. And then here comes that guy, the other guy with his cell phone in one hand and one hand on his gun. It's like, I'm sure he was... that guy would have made me nervous, right? But like, what's up with that guy with the phone in his hand and his hand on his gun? Like, and here's the question that no one's really asking, that I haven't heard one person ask when they're bringing this up. Why is this gun out in the first place? These are two women, clearly unarmed. They don't have any guns. Why is he pulling out his gun? The other two guys were standing right there. They didn't have their guns out. Why is this guy whipping out his gun? He is escalating the situation by whipping out a fucking gun. And if you were really just dragged by a car 6 months ago, or whatever they said, which happened, there's a video of it, why would you move towards the car? Jump in front of it. The guy's obviously, it's like Paul Blart's ICE agent. It's like, it's not very. There was a woman from, I think it was Salon magazine. She was trying to do an investigation of who ICE was hiring. So she fucking put in an application. And she got a thing, said, welcome to ICE. They didn't even background check her or nothing. She's a person like me. Like, if they would have looked into her for 5 minutes, they would have found They're like, oh, this guy don't like Trump. It's like... Julia says he had his firearm in his hand before she even had the car drive. She was still in reverse when he unholstered. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He pulled his gun out. Why? She's not a threat to him. She don't have... Unless just a car moving at all just triggers him now. That's like, in that case, they should just take his gun away. How's he get out on the highway? Oh, my God! His car's all around. Start shooting. What kills me is the people, like I said, who cheer for this. There's jackboot thugs literally breaching people's houses with no warrants and going inside their houses with fucking assault rifles and bulletproof vests, and, and being dicks too. They're not being nice about it. They're being dicks. They're totally dicks. I don't know if you've seen all these videos of going up to people pumping gas at the gas station. Let me see your papers. This is the United States of America. That's what I'm saying, is all semblance of your constitutional rights are being shredded right in front of you. And if you don't care, if you don't give a fuck about that, then you've lost every meaning of every idea that it means to be an American. I used to have a t-shirt, I don't have it anymore, I lost it somewhere. But it was Lenny Bruce t-shirt, and then Lenny Bruce says, if you take away the right to say fuck, it means you take away my right to say fuck the government. And that's true. And that was back in the 1950s. It's always been a struggle to stay free in this country. And what's kept us free is that people weren't just lay down bootlickers. But now the internet has brainwashed everybody to be like, oh, you gotta be the... you just comply. The guy's got a "Don't Tread on Me" fucking flag on his car and a Punisher fucking sticker. And he's like, well, if you just did what the cops told you, you wouldn't be shot in the face. He's like, you're a fucking groveling piece of shit, spineless fucking bootlicker. Take the flag off your car, bro. Don't tread on me. Fuck you. You're gaslighting yourself at that point. It's like, I never seen, like I said, they need to change the national anthem. I said this before on the show. It is true, because they need to change that line, because we are not free or brave. There are brave people in this country, but there's a lot of spineless fucks who don't understand anything. And like I said, when I was growing up, the conservatives used to carry constitutions in their pocket. They'd whip it out at any time, and you talk to them for about 10 seconds, and you realize you never read that, did you? It's not even a real, like, it's not even a long book. It's just like a pamphlet. You couldn't even read that. And these are the same people on the internet trying to give you their political opinions. You're like, dude, you're a fucking high school dropout. Shut the fuck up. You know, and most of these people don't know shit about anything. That's why they're easily manipulated. You just get them in this bubble and you start telling them everything. And then they go, yeah, they just repeat bullshit all the time. You go, that's not true. If you had done a modicum of reading or paying attention in your history classes or your science classes or whatever bullshit they're talking about, you would realize that you're being had. But they don't, because they're fucking stupid. They're the same people that Hicks had a bit about, but I had experienced the same thing where, you know, you're carrying around a book and you read books and people, what'd you read that book for? Huh? What's you... So I'm gonna get insulted. What, you think you're smarter than me? It's like, no, I fucking know it. It's like, it's not being egotistical at all. It's like, you're a fucking moron. I'd be glad. I tell them all every time, man, I'd be glad to sit down with you, take any test. You want to take right now? I haven't read a book or been in class for 30 fucking years. You want to take an ASVAB test or a fucking, like I said, regular achievement test or a fucking SAT? You know, whatever you want to take, I'll take it with you, buddy. And I guarantee I'll crush you. And you're trying to tell me that I don't know how the world is. Like, no, you're giving away your own rights and freedom because you're a moron. Because you let them scare you enough that you think that these immigrants are some kind of threat to you somehow, and the only way to get rid of them is to give up all your rights. Because, like I said, they don't think that they're giving away their rights. They're like, I want these immigrants out, so yeah, let them go house to house. And, you know, it's like, well, why don't you let them go house to house? What's to stop them from going any house to house whenever they fucking want? That's the fucking point. You don't understand that part of it, do you? That's once you give them the power. Laura said, no, I sound like Trump not taking the test. No one's ever taking the test. Good as me. I don't mean everyone, Laura. I just mean these fucking nutlickers that act like they're constitutional scholars, or these anti-vaxxers who act like they're scientists. You know, it's like you're not a scientist. Do your research, you say. You've never done any research. You ever read a book in your fucking life? The only reason you think you know shit now is because you can watch YouTube videos. You don't have to read. Because you're an idiot. That's why people like Nick Shirley that don't know what the word benevolent means, because they're fucking stupid. Yeah. But yet here he is trying to act like he's changing the world. And so another thing, where does Nick Shirley come from, you think? I saw a thing today. They're paying $8 million. The government, the U.S. government, paying $8 million to these influencers on the internet. How does Nick Shirley go to Ukraine? And how does Nick Shirley can go around and drive around Minnesota, you know, all over the state or whatever? Doesn't he have a job? You go, no, he doesn't have a job. It's like Trump's giving him a check to produce bullshit and put it on the internet. Then they amplify it with Fox News and all this shit. It's a machine that they pay for. He's taking the Russian model, like what the Russians did with Benny Johnson and Tim Pool, where they give him $1 million and they can set up this podcast channel and they give him high-end production and all the shit that they need to look professional, right? And then they put him on there and look all slick. You're like, how's he got all this stuff? Oh yeah, but it's Russian money, you know. And now Trump's doing the same thing. He just sent a check, like I said, sent $500,000, $1 million check to people like Nick Shirley. Now Nick Shirley can go anywhere he wants, do anything he wants, and produce all this shit and put it on the internet. Because he doesn't have to have a fucking job that takes up half of his day. Julia says, if they think ICE won't bust in their door just because they have a Trump flag in their house, they're going to have a very rude awakening. Yeah? Yeah. But that's what I mean about people who they don't put two and two together. They don't realize that they think that this is all for immigrants and that's fine. But this is part of a larger plan to gather more authority into the executive branch, and establish a dictatorship, basically. ICE is like Trump's private army, and they're hiring more and more and more of these fucks every day. It's just going to get worse. I don't know if you saw this either. There's a new chapter to the boat strike thing. Apparently, when they did the double tap strike, right, which is already a war crime technically, killing survivors of a shipwreck, but they decided they'd double down. But they, instead of traditionally bombing like they would from way up high where you came to see the plane, they used this plane that was disguised as a commercial aircraft and flew real low where the guys could see him. And the guys were like, "Oh, there's a plane. It's just a regular plane. Hey, we're there." And then the fucking they dropped the bomb on him. Which is a specific war crime called perfidy, I think. You can't pretend to be civilians to attack someone. It's a war crime. It's like if you took school buses and loaded them up with jackboot SWAT team, you know, and rolled up on somebody and they were like, "Oh, there's a school bus," and then they just jumped out and killed everybody. It's against the Geneva Convention, but not that Trump cares about that. He doesn't care about the law. Yes, perfidy. It's the technical name. It's war crime. Straight up. It's murder. It's like, which, you know, that gets into the whole discussion of, you know, are there rules in war? You know, people trying to make rules. It's like, yes, people kill each other. You know, it's just like a fight. You know, it's like people ask, "Oh, you fight like a sucker." It's like, what? You know, hey, did I get beat up? No. All right then. I don't care what you say. To me, the object of a fight is to not get fucking beat up. And if I grab a beer bottle or a iron bar and I hit you with it, then you say, "Oh, that guy doesn't fight fair." I don't give a fuck. Did that guy stomp me out on the ground? No. There is no rules in the violence. But like I said, as a society, you know, we've decided, hey, there better be some rules here. And no one follows these fucking rules. Just like the international law and all things. There is no international law now. Do you realize that when Donald Trump went into another country and just kidnapped the fucking president and drug him out and then posts up on Wikipedia that he's the acting president of that country, there's no longer any international law. There's no longer any rules. Trump flaunts and violates and breaks all rules and laws and somehow has gotten away with it his entire life. I mean, that's one thing you got to give to Donald Trump. He's been able his entire life to sexually harass women and maybe rape them, you know, to commit fraud and blatant theft, to, like I said, now he's murdering people and kidnapping heads of state, and no one's doing anything about it, and no one's going to stop him. I've never seen anything like it. There's also something else going on. Well, besides him trying to prosecute the head of the Fed, because the Fed chairman won't cut rates, and Trump wants him to cut rates, and he won't cut the rates. So now he's back to getting on him about this building thing, and now he's subpoenaed him, and they might try to indict him for lying to Congress somehow about, it's like, it's all about getting him out so he can put a nutlooker in charge who will do what he says at the Fed. And I don't know if you know anything about the economy and how it works, but the Fed, being independent, is one of the pillars of the economy that keeps the economy going, right? The countries will invest in the United States because they have faith that the Fed, the people who manage the money policy, are not going to be affected by politics. And that's one of the things that keeps the economy going. If people start to think that Trump just controls the money policy and he just cut interest rates or do whatever he wants whenever he wants, people will pull out their money. They won't invest here. And you get what's called hyperinflation. This has happened in Turkey, in Greece. It's happened in Argentina, which is why we had to just bail them out recently. The president or whoever, the leader, can't control the central bank system of the country because, I mean, it should be pretty obvious. Because you shouldn't be making monetary decisions on momentary things, It's like, trans people are playing in sports, so therefore we got to keep the interest rate at 2%. And it causes the inflation to, like, it's called hyperinflation, where your dollar suddenly isn't worth shit. And the dollar's already down, the value of the dollar. And he's leaving in May. Anyway, this is what's funny is Trump can't wait till May for him to just leave. He's trying to force him out early because the Supreme Court is about to give its decision on tariffs. Now, if they declare tariffs to be unconstitutional, which they are, the Constitution is very clear that Congress has the power to levy tariffs, not the President of the United States. Because here's another stupid thing. Trump is like, I'm here to help the Iranians. And what did he do? He said, 25% tariff on anyone that does business with Iran. It's like, tariff is the tariff is like his only answer to everything. Tariff or bombing. That's his answer to every problem. He says, we're winning. He's always saying he's winning. Even when he's massively losing. We're winning! America's the hottest country in the world right now. Yeah, it's hot, like, and that people hate us. Yes, it's hot. It's real hot. I don't know about that story, Julian. That story seems pretty wild. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but it's not something that I'd go around saying, oh yeah, I think that's 100% true, because just because someone said that doesn't make it true. And Trump is a horrible human being, but that story is particularly fucking horrible. But like I said, it wouldn't surprise me. Trump, he doesn't have any feelings. He's a psychopath. He doesn't care about anything. And every word that comes out of his mouth is a lie. But that's why I can't believe people still believe this guy. People still let him just go on TV and just spout fucking ridiculous bullshit that you know is bullshit, but nobody says anything about it. They don't challenge him or anything. At this point, they just go, yeah, whatever, It's like now. It's like, do I want to help the people of Iran? Yes. But what do I think? What do you think? You think you could bomb, just drop a couple bombs is going to fix this problem? This is the problem when you're dealing with stupid people. These are complex problems. These are complex issues. It's not something you can just drop a fucking couple bombs and run a Delta Force in there and everything's going to be like, what happens then? You're going to tell me there aren't massive amounts of resistance groups in Iran, right? And all of them got an idea that they're going to be the ones to take over this country, right? Iran's got a lot of oil, a lot of money. Each one of these groups has an idea that they're going to take over this country. So what happens then? You know what happened in Iraq? You can't remove a guy from power without having an idea of what's going to happen after. It's just like Venezuela. Like, it's been quiet. It's only been a couple weeks. I fully expect there to be some shit, jumps off in Venezuela sooner or later, because there's groups there that want to take over the country. They're just waiting for their chance, or their moment. They're letting the heat die down. They're looking at the lay of the land. They're making plans. But it's going to happen. I hate to be the one to predict the future on this show, but we could dial this back in a couple months. It's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of resistance or civil war in Venezuela, where the people there will start fighting over who's going to really control this country, because they're not going to let this woman, if she's going to continue to be the puppet of the United States, run this country. It's not going to happen. If you think that, you're stupid. You don't know anything about history. And the same as Iran. Like, you want that regime out? Yes, I want them out. They're repressive, horrible fucking assholes, But what happens after that? If you don't have a plan, these people, like I said, they turned off the pro-Western propaganda that was being fed to Iran because they thought it was woke, And now there is no propaganda flowing into Iran because they cut off the internet. These people are stupid. You think that they got some kind of grand strategy how they're going to run it? So what happens then? So Trump is now president of the United States and acting president of Venezuela and Iran. At what point do you spread yourself too thin that you can't do any of this shit? And meanwhile, like I said, the economy here is fucking... it's holding on by a thread. I'm telling you that right now. It's holding on. It's not... Sooner or later, the dam's going to burst, and this economy is going to go down again. And you better be ready for that. It's just like I said when we elected Trump again. It's like, dude, this is going to be a wild ride. Buckle up. This is not going to be like anything we've ever seen before. And until someone stops him, if we're just careening down the fucking boulevard towards the cliff, bridge out. It's like, fucking gun it. We're the hottest country in the world. The car goes off the cliff. People are cheering. They can't wait. Laura said, Trump's on CBS News right now saying the economy is doing so well. Yes, exactly. Here's what they said. If the Supreme Court declares his tariffs to be unconstitutional, he's got to give back all that money. All that money he's bragging about. I have $600 billion in tariff money. just sitting around. It's not just sitting around. He spent it on all this shit he's doing. Sending all the fleet to fucking Venezuela, and sending all the ICE agents everywhere, and building these facilities to fucking drag people off to, and lock them up. And that's not to mention how bad these facilities are, and the terrible conditions that these people are living under. This is the United States of America. They wouldn't even let the Congress people inside of the place. They made a rule. They said, you got to give us a week's notice. That's not how it works. The congressman should come. That's oversight. They can come and walk in anytime they want. That's what oversight is. And if you're telling somebody, you can't expect my shit unless you give me a week's notice, that means that they're going to fudge the inspection. It's just like when you're at work. I don't know if you're at work, if you ever worked in a store or something, and the corporate people show up, and everybody starts tripping and running around. Oh! And they start cleaning up everything and putting everything away, and you're like, and I never did that because my department was always the way it should be. But then I watch these people and I go, if you just did your job right all the fucking time, you wouldn't have to be like this. You wouldn't have to be tripping when the guy shows up. You go, hey, he shows up. He's like, yeah, I follow all the fucking rules and I keep my fucking department clean. And you see, I'm not tripping. Look at them people. They're all, oh God, frantically scrubbing the wall. It's like, because most of the time, that's what happens. And that's what's happening in these detention centers. And they don't want you to see how bad it is. So they tell them, you got to give us a week's notice so we can clean everything up and put on a good show for you when you show up here. It's like, no, we came to see what it's really like. Well, they can't show you what it's really like because it's fucking horrific. And yet these people cheer. One of the people say all the time, the cruelty is the point. That's pretty much it. These people are assholes. It's like, what's her name? My mom had the Fox on again before I walked down here. What's her name? The chick that used to work for George Bush, Dana Perino. She's a real bitch, man. She was. They were talking about that the trans case. First of all, there's a Supreme Court case about trans people being allowed to play sports, and let's reiterate the point that trans people are like 0.01% of the population of the United States. There were 500,000 college athletes last year and like 10 trans people out of 500,000. And we're having a Supreme Court case to decide, can those people fucking play softball or whatever. And Dave Marino was like, well, people gotta look at this 100 years from now and go, these people are crazy. They're talking about this. You're like, yeah, exactly. You gotta force me to treat these people like human beings. You're like, and you're like, yes. That's really all what people are asking. You ever notice that? They act like woke shit was like it's the most horrible thing. Like that became the catchword, right? That they use for everything that's wrong in the world. Woke. It's woke. Everything's woke. And then you break it all down, really, and you look at it. Everything that they say is woke is really just asking you to treat people like human fucking beings. And that's really it. Right? Taking away your right to ostracize people and be bigots towards them and, say fucking horrible shit, or maybe beat them up or tie them to a truck like we used to do. All of the progress that's been made in this society, my entire life and before that, was really just about, hey man, why don't you just treat people like human beings and we wouldn't have to be talking about this? Where did DEI even come from? It's because fucking racists wouldn't hire fucking black people or Mexicans or people of color. They wouldn't even let them in their fucking stores sometimes. Back in the day, they had to pass a law for that. And then those people go, this is tyranny, you're telling me how to... That's what the cake guy, right? Remember that guy? The guy from Colorado was like, I'm not making a cake for these gay people's wedding. It's like, dude, you bake cakes. Did they pay you a check? Yeah, make the fucking cake. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you endorse it, that you support it. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know why it's kicked me off again. Fucking ridiculous. There must be like a timer on it. I gotta look into this. That's what's funny though. It didn't do it in the beginning when I was first doing this show. It's only been something that lately comes on the chat, like disconnects itself and then reconnects itself, or else I have to click on it to, I don't know, whatever. That's what I get for not taking that Benny Johnson rubles check, you know. Yeah, I'll make pro-eyes propaganda. Just cut me that check. Oh, yeah, I have lots of followers. Millions of people watch this show. See, that's the problem. Is millions of people watch Nick Shirley. Millions of people watch Benny Johnson. Millions of people watch Tim Pool. Millions of people watch... Hey, what's up, Pugme? You got something to say? Besides, shut up, Grandpa? I am no one's grandpa. See, exactly. You got nothing to say. Like all y'all that come on here. It's really disappointing. I wish that once, like, one of you would be smart and have something to say, because I'm really interested in the thought process behind some of the things that you believe. Like you never do. You always just come on here. You suck, and you've got 6 followers, and the ball bots are listening, and you shut up, Grandpa. Oh, the jokes. Okay, it's hard to know the difference. A lot of nowadays, it's especially on a dry screen like this, you could just be a troll. That's usually what comes on here, just trolls and want to say dumb shit like that. And I try to engage them in a conversation, but they don't ever have anything to say. Because, like I said, they're just kind of stupid most of the time. It's sad. It's sad. That's how we got here. Like I said, people giving away their rights. They don't even know they're giving them away. Now, how do you reason with people like that? You go, no, you don't understand. I'm telling you this for your own benefit. You're giving away your own freedom. And they're like, fuck you, you liberal piece of commie. You calling me a communist? You know what Trump said? He wants to cap all credit card interest rates at 10%. You know what that is? Marxism. When the government starts dictating to private companies, so his answer, all these ideas that Trump's been throwing out here lately, he stole them all from like AOC and Bernie Sanders, and he's like, yeah, we need to cap it 10%, we need to do this, and we need to cut down the mortgage rates and maybe lower rents. And it's like, now you sound like Zoran Mamdani. And the Trumpers go, yeah, that's what we need to do. It's like, wait, you just called me a communist yesterday, which means that you don't have any idea what communism even is or means. Socialism or whatever. I mean, I'm not against it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, the fact that they can't understand intellectually what they're saying is my problem with the whole thing. Like, you call me a socialist, a communist, whatever you want to say, and then you go, Trump's going to cap the credit cards at 10%. And I go, that's good. But you know what that is? That's Marxism, bro. Socialism. It's like when the government keeps the private industry in check. That's what it is. The fact, like I said, that they don't know that. Star Stuff says the earth is flat. Not that again. And everything's a simulation. It's like that. Nothing is real. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was a simulation. Then it'd be easy to fix. You know, just find the glitch in the matrix that got us to this point and fucking glitch it back. And it's not that simple. What you have is, like I said, a bunch of dumb motherfuckers in the world, and the internet has become like a big giant brainwash machine. You turn it on, it sucks them in like a black hole, and then like you start to believe the Earth is flat and shit like that. I'm sure you believe that. There's lots of people that believe it. I knew a guy that believed it, 100%. He'd argue with me every time. And you're like, well, if that's the case, you just go off the end, wouldn't you? At some point, be like it's like a table. No one's found the end. How do I get in a plane and keep flying and end up in the same place where I started? How's that happen? On a flat Earth. Well, there's a wormhole at one end and it spits you out the wormhole at the other end. That's what I mean. It's like you gotta keep making up ridiculous. I thought there was a dome over the flat Earth. I thought that was the thing. We're all in like a fishbowl aquarium. It doesn't make any sense. And somehow everything else around you that you see is round, but not this one. This one is the exception. Don't worry, because the Pentagon is putting Grok in charge of the military now. Yeah, maybe. That's that. You're right. Except my carpet is the dude, bro. I mean, what kind of terrorist is? It's like, I need 50 white Russians and I need it right now. Or I'll kill this hamster. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. What? Home Alone star charged with soliciting prostitution. Wait, just a Daniel Stern? This just came across the fucking wire. Home Alone star Daniel Stern charged with soliciting prostitution in a California motel incident. He was known for Wet Bandit Marv in the 90s Christmas classic Home Alone. Now 68. The actor left Hollywood behind to live a slower-paced life with his wife. He moved to a farm in Ventura to tend cattle and grow produce. Wait, now they're talking about... it turned into a story about what he's been doing. But apparently, he was charged on January 12th. He made a solicitation on December 10th at a motel in Camarillo. A spokesperson for the Ventura County District Attorney's Office told Fox News. Well, looks like Marv's going to be getting a divorce. His wife be taking that produce farm. Let's say, you better go back to Hollywood and hope they make Home Alone 5 or whatever. Hey man, dude, God needs some pussy. But he's married, that makes it extra bad. It's like, you're the other fucking. Everybody always comes on here and says I'm gay. I'm either gay or a Jew. You ever notice that? Or a gay Jew. You guys have a very small imagination. I will give you that. And I will reiterate again, I'm not gay, but I'm for it. I am definitely not against it. Grew up around the gays. I'm very, very familiar and friendly with them. But I'm not one of them. Same as Jewish people. Everybody thinks I'm Jewish. The guy comes out, are you a Jew? That's always the first question they ask. Are you a Jew? It's like, no. But again, I'm not against it. This is my point that I say all the time. You're just born, you wake up, no one chooses what you are. What's Lady Gaga say? You're born this way. It is true. I believe you are. You're born. So you're basically, what? What does that mean? And I don't know what you mean. Anyway, You're just bored. You don't choose the color of your skin or who your parents are, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, what country you're born in. You're just fucking bored and you're on the planet. It's a dog-eat-dog fucking world from then on. It's hard enough. You don't need people going, fucking look at that guy. I don't like the way he looks. Just fucking... Right, Juliet? I got Jewish friends more than you. Josh Lidauer is one of my good best friends. I gave him my show. He's still running it out in Vegas. When I left, I handed it off to him, and he's been hosting it ever since. He's keeping it going. It's still alive. It's like the longest running mic in Las Vegas. And I made sure it didn't end when I left. Because people need that. It's a place where comedians can go late at night and work on their most darkest segment. Whatever crazy, twisted ideas you might have that you might not want to work on at the funny bone or something until they're fucking polished up and ready to go. You come to a place like mine at midnight and you can say whatever you want. I ran my open mic just like I ran my Facebook page. I let people say shit I didn't agree with all the time. I don't yank the mic out of their hand and tell them, you know, it's free thought area, you know. And no, I go up on shit on you afterwards, you know, if you want to say something stupid. Or, you know, be like, well, maybe I don't want to have you back, you know, if you're up there fucking. There's not many lines you can cross to make me block you or tell you can't come. Like I said, I never blocked anyone from my open mic, just like I never really block anyone from my page. I mean, I eventually have to block some people because they just won't stop being stupid. But it's like single digits, the amount of people I blocked in however long I've been online. You know, I pretty much let people say whatever they want. And that's why I think it's funny when people say, well, you live in a bubble. Like, I don't live in a bubble. I got lots of friends that don't agree with me. Matter of fact, my friend that don't agree with me, he's the one that don't want me to talk to him. Well, he says he won't engage me because he doesn't think I'm smart enough. But it's like, that's not why he won't engage me. He won't engage me because he knows I'm his equal. And he can't have that. You know, he's got to be the superior one on his shit. So he doesn't want someone on there that's challenging him and actually debating. See, that's the trick that the right wingers use. Is if they feel like, oh, this guy can hold his own and I might get beat in a debate, they'll just figure out, they'll just get rid of you. They'll just block you, get rid of you, tell you, oh, they don't want to hear you. What you have to say? It's too real for them. You know, it's like, and I'm not to say that, you know, who's right or who's wrong, but I'm saying as far as the debate goes, if he can't just beat you around, he doesn't want you on his page because, you know, it makes him look bad. So that's what I believe anyway. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. I'm going to Laura's for dinner. Again, if you just found this page or found my show, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I know that everybody who watches this show regularly gets sick of hearing me say this, but I have to say it for the new people like Jim. If you just stumbled on this show, like I said, I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you want to send me a message, it's at Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. You can find me on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on Facebook as Adam Chancellor, because I have been banned for life. And anyway, I got to get out of here, like I said. So, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, again, good luck to the people of Iran. We do care. They said, don't think we don't. And be safe, please. Take care of yourself. And I'll be back on Thursday at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much.